So what's happening in Utah and what's happening with Utah real estate? Well, Utah's real estate market is on fire and it has been for so very long. And the real question is why? Why is Utah so appealing for so many people that want to move here? Now, it's no surprise that Utah is not for everybody, but Utah affords some of the greatest opportunities where you can mix the urban, the suburban, and the rural or the mountain lifestyle all into one. There's literally no place in America that offers the same amenities and the same opportunities for recreational opportunities, as well as scenery and the mountains right there next to the metropolitan area. Utah is very unique, and so is Salt Lake City, but also the other cities along the Wasatch Front, as well as the other cities and towns throughout the state. Utah offers something that very few places in this country can afford to offer. And if you yourself are considering making a move to Utah, or perhaps you already live here and you're looking to make a move within the state, you'll want to know how Utah's real estate market is trending and what does it look like in the future, because we know where it's come from. We know that housing affordability is a crisis here, but we also want to know where is it going and where is the best opportunity for you if you're looking to live here yourself. So in this video, I'm going to cover all that and more. Stay tuned. Okay, so Utah's real estate market is competitive. It's ultra competitive, in fact, not only on the buy side, but the selling side as well. So how do you stand out as a buyer? Well, the best way to do that is to be well prepared, to have a really good quality team of professionals that will help guide you through the process. And that's not just a real estate broker like myself. It's a home inspector, it's a title person, it's a lender, and it's a team of people that really guide you through the process, whether you're buying or you're selling a piece of property here in Utah. And I, as an agent, I'm going to have better conversations when we can stand out in some way, shape, or form. So when I represent buyers and sellers looking to purchase and sell real estate here in the state of Utah, it's paramount to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward and we're making sure that we're negotiating for your behalf as well. All right, so in this video, I'm going to talk about a lot of things with respect to Utah real estate. And the first thing I want to talk about is where are the best opportunities for first-time homebuyers. Now, when I qualify what is a first-time homebuyer, I'm looking at people that are looking to buy a home under the $500,000 price point. Utah has some of the most expensive real estate in the country, and so anything under $500,000 is considered, especially if it's a newer construction home, it's more of a starter home. And some of the very best opportunities to get into a single family home for a starter home price without being more than maybe 35 minutes away from a metropolitan area and to still be considered part of the suburbs, those areas are where the best opportunities lie. I'm going to talk about a few areas. Number one, let's start down in Utah County and talk about the south end of Utah County, in and around the cities of Spanish Fork and Payson and Santaquin. These are places where you can absolutely get more for your money. They are also some of the up and coming areas that are going to be growing faster and faster as other cities are kind of filling up. These areas still have a lot of room for growth. And if we move northward into the northern portion of Utah County, I would say that Eagle Mountain to the west of Saratoga Springs is one of the best opportunities if you're looking to get into a new construction home or just a nice home in general. You can do that for just under or just over $500,000. And Eagle Mountain is also going to extend into the coming decades as being one of the fastest growing city in the entire state of Utah. And one of the things that makes Eagle Mountain as well as Saratoga Springs really stand out is you do get more for your money here than you will in the Salt Lake City metropolitan area, with housing usually being about 10 to 12% less if you're comparing apples to apples. So the very same home in South Jordan is going to cost probably about 10 to 12% more, either in South Jordan or neighboring cities of Harriman or even West Jordan, than what you can find down in Utah County. So Eagle Mountain is another great place to find more affordable property. As we move north into Salt Lake County, I want to look just west in Tooele, this Tooele Valley area where Lake Point, Stansbury Park, Erta, Tooele, Grantsville, these towns still have a lot of opportunities and will continue to have a lot of opportunities with starter homes, as well as first-time homebuyers being able to get into a home for under $500,000. And then last but not least, I want to move north. The Ogden metropolitan area offers a lot of opportunities, and it is the most affordable of the three metropolitan areas along the Wasatch Front, which are the three most major metropolitan areas here in Utah. And with cities like Syracuse and West Point and West Haven exploding in growth, these cities have plenty of room for growth and will have opportunities for years to come for those first-time homebuyers. Now, beyond this, it's not just all about the Wasatch Front. There are more rural areas and smaller towns outside of the cities that are going to offer opportunities communities as well. And while we're on the topic of growth, we have to talk about new construction. If you're talking about real estate in Utah and the growth, inevitably you're going to be considering or talking about or at least exploring the concept of purchasing a new construction home. I believe firmly that when you're buying new construction, you need a unique set of skills in your real estate professional or your team to make sure that you're being guided in the best possible way, to make sure that those home builders are held accountable to making sure they're providing the product in the home that you deserve and that you're paying for. And as a new construction specialist and expert myself, coming from that background, I have a unique set of skills in knowing how homes are built because I've done it myself time and time again, and I know exactly what to look for when purchasing new construction, but also navigating the process of a new home purchase. In the new construction world, it's very different than just buying an existing home. So you want to make sure when you're buying new construction to consider all the things that you need to know and how to pick the best builder, the best community, the best neighborhood for you to make sure that you end up in the home that you're paying for and hopefully enjoying for many years to come. Now, just today, I spent a couple of hours out in a new construction community in Saratoga Springs called Beacon Point, and there I got to meet with one of the home builders here in Utah, and it's more of a national or regional home builder that's building a lot of homes here in Utah, and I got to really dial in the message with respect to how can we connect clients with those home builders to make sure that they're having a seamless experience, but also a really good experience. And one of the things that really sticks out to me as a real estate professional is when we're buying new construction, I want to make sure that the home builder is holding themselves accountable to delivering a product to you, the buyer, before you get to the finish line and you're doing that walkthrough at the end and you're putting blue tape on everything and you're finding 400 things throughout the house that are just not quite on point. And that's where we come in, and we want to make sure that that home builder has already done that ahead of time so that your experience as the buyer in walking through that property, all of those things have already been addressed. All of those things have already been taken care of. And of course, you'll still have opportunities to see if there's anything else that we've missed. But to me, that is something crucial to not only the experience of building a home, but when you move into a home, to make sure that you had a really good experience and you didn't have to go through the painstaking process of getting all of those little things taken care of and done prior to moving in. And if that's you and you're considering new construction and it's something on your radar for this coming year in 2025, stay tuned. I have an entire playlist of videos, dozens of videos that I'll be creating about new construction. I'll be in the communities, I'll be in the model homes, I'll be on the construction sites, and I'll be documenting the entire process to make sure that I can offer the very best guidance for you as a home buyer when purchasing new construction. All right, next up, let's talk about the pros and cons of living in a master planned community. I personally live in the largest master planned community in the state of Utah in Daybreak, which is located in the city of South Jordan in the Salt Lake City metropolitan area. And of course, there are pros and cons. You of course have the governance and the supervision and the inspection of properties to make sure that those properties are being held to the standard that the HOA is requiring. I view that as a double-edged sword. It's a really nice thing that your neighbors don't have trashy cars parked in the yard and that they're actually required to maintain their yards and their houses to make sure that the appeal of the neighborhood remains the same. But on the flip side, we also have the struggles that come along with having an HOA. I believe that in Daybreak specifically, you get a lot for the money in terms of the amenities, the trails, the lakes, all of the things and the events and the activities that take place in Daybreak, as well as the incredibly well-planned development that provides so much value that it offsets the negatives of living in a master planned community. And when I'm talking about the negatives, okay, you want to build a pergola, you want to add a hot tub, you want to do some of these things that you want to do, there is a process by which you have to go and apply and make sure that you're going through the proper steps to make sure that you're painting the house in a color that makes sense. You can't just go free willy on everything and do anything you want to do, which to some is going to feel restrictive, but to others, they're going to enjoy the cohesiveness and the curb appeal of each and every home in the neighborhood and making sure that where you invested your hard-earned money in living is staying true to that concept as the years progress and move on. All right, the next thing to consider, let's talk about features of homes. Let's talk about floor plans and layouts. Let's talk about energy efficiency. All of these things come into play, and what's really good for one person might not be for somebody else. You might view something as a pro, whereas somebody else might view it as a con. Ultimately, what we're noticing in the real estate market here in Utah, more and more people are really looking for open floor plans. They're looking for floor plans that provide taller ceilings in those great rooms. They're also looking for those taller ceilings in the basements because Utah, unlike many other states States has basements in pretty much most of their homes here. So those taller ceilings really come into play, but also other features with respect to the amenities on the outside of the property are becoming increasingly more important as people are looking for more of an opportunity to create a lifestyle than just a full-time job in maintaining their yard. And so it's that balance of looking for those amenities and those features and those design concepts and the floor plans and the energy efficiency that comes into play. Another thing that we're starting to notice in some communities, and it's not my favorite thing to see, I see a lot more electric stovetops or cooktops. I personally only like to cook on gas, and so in Utah, the vast majority of homes are going to have the option to cook with gas. In very few of these neighborhoods and these homes, you're going to be restricted to just electric. So that's something to consider as well, but also on the energy efficiency side, we're noticing that some new developments and some new home builders are building homes that are incredibly energy efficient, and they're utilizing new methods of heating and cooling a home in the form of a heat pump as opposed to just relying on a gas burning furnace to maintain the temperature in their home. And beyond that, there are so many other features and technologies that are coming into play that are making our homes better and better each and every decade as we progress. And unlike many things, when we think about how much better something was built in decades past, homes are actually far better built today than they were even 20 to 30 years ago with respect to the design and the technology in the materials that are used. It continues to get better. That's not to say that some builders aren't cutting corners or that some builders are not just using cheap products in their homes, because that is certainly the case. But the structure of the home has gotten better as each and every decade has worn on. And regardless of whether or not you're buying a new construction home or an existing home, I think it's crucial that we consider getting a home inspection, because regardless of the quality of the home, it's really wise to get a home inspection to make sure that our home inspector and your real estate team can find those things that we need to find out about a home to make sure that we not only have leverage in negotiation, but we can also deliver the product in the home that you're looking for and know what to look for and what to remedy before it becomes a bigger problem. Now, some of those things are unique to Utah. If you're moving here from California or Florida or Texas, you're going to be coming from places with different problems. Here in a dry climate in Utah, we don't have to deal with bugs or mold nearly to the degree that you would in maybe Texas or Florida, but we do have things to consider in our climate, because although we have really good structures here, we have really good foundations, we don't have very many problems with those things. We do see more problems because of the extreme temperatures. So we do experience both the hot summers and the cold winters, which of course can wreak havoc on certain materials, especially certain parts of those houses and those materials that are in the northern sides of a house, when you get those extreme temperature changes from one season to another. And one of the most common inspection issues that I'm looking for when we're doing a home inspection on a property is I want to make sure that the roof is in good and proper working order to make sure that it's not affecting the other materials, whether it be stucco or siding or anything else as you move down the home, because it all starts at the top and moves down from there. And in most of our inspections, we are absolutely finding things that we need to either get repaired or we can negotiate in the process of purchasing your home. And in recent years, as we've seen a record-breaking winter just a couple of years ago, we've noticed that a lot of the properties that are in the higher elevations are experiencing different problems than those properties down in the valleys here along the Wasatch Front. So if you're looking at property, depending on where it's located and its orientation, there are different things that we're going to have to look for. And of course, climate as well as elevation come into play. And we want to make sure that you're getting a home that's going to last for years to come. So if you're considering moving to Utah, or perhaps you already live here and you're looking at just making a move, you want to make sure that you're working with a really good real estate professional and a team that's going to guide you through this process. Now, there are some tips that I would always advise whether you hire us or you hire somebody else when hiring a real estate professional. Make sure that they have adequate knowledge, not only with respect to the neighborhood that you're looking to purchase in or sell your home in, but also, and more importantly, that they have really good quality communication skills, that they know how to negotiate really well on your behalf. And just as a pro tip, if they can't negotiate for themselves, they're likely not going to do a very good job in negotiating for you either. The next thing you want to look for is to make sure that they know the contracts inside and out. And last but not least, I think this is one of the most important things. They've got to know how homes are built. They've got to know how homes are fixed, repaired, built, maintained, renovated. These are crucial components when you're buying a home, and you want somebody that you can lean on when you're looking at making those decisions prior to buying the home, so that you know what to plan for in the future. And if we haven't met yet, my name is Scott Steele, and I'm a local real estate agent and broker, and I would love to be your real estate resource of choice. But if it's not me, make sure that you're hiring a professional that knows what they're doing. Now, of course, my team and I would love to be your real estate resource of choice, and you can find our information down below. But you'll need more than just a good real estate agent. You're going to need a good team as well. And that comes in the form of a really good lender, a really good home inspector, a really good title or escrow officer, as well as a good agent. And it's this balance and this team approach that really makes a real estate team work and make sure that you get exactly what you're looking for to make sure that you have a successful experience from the beginning all the way through and beyond the end. And while talking about a team, I want to stress the importance of having a pre-approval letter before you go out and start looking at homes. So for that reason, I want you to connect with us so that we can make sure that we get the right lender depending on your situation aligned with you to make sure that you are well prepared and qualified to be out and looking at homes and make those offers confidently. And all of this is to say that we want this team approach as we serve you as a client to make sure that you're really well prepared to move forward and have a really good experience. And I believe that the things that we need to balance as we're looking for a proper home is, of course, location, price, and features of the home. And as we walk through each and every property, we're going to analyze all three of those components to make sure that we're ranking that home versus the previous homes we've looked at. And we're going to maintain a top 3 list to make sure that we can eliminate the distractions and the noise and really just focus on those top tier properties that are really calling your attention. And then, of course, when we find the right home, you'll probably know within the first 5 to 15 minutes of walking through that home. I see it each and every time. You'll know when it's the right one. And when you do, it's time to really get down to brass tacks and make that offer confidently. Now, one of the biggest pitfalls or mistakes that people make when they're looking for a home is that they'll start looking on Zillow and just randomly look at homes without having proper consultation to make sure that you're dialed in with what you really want to look at. Because just like walking into a store, if you're overwhelmed with too many options, it's going to get noisy real quick. And we can save you a lot of time by having that really good in-depth personalized consultation to make sure that we're setting up your searches to make sure that you're looking at the homes that are the ones that you really need to pay attention to. And while we do these consultations with clients each and every day, we want to highlight and spotlight the hot real estate markets, but also the other opportunities, because really what it boils down to is what's best for you and your lifestyle and your family. It's always about you and not about anybody else. So we want to make sure that we personalize this approach as to how we guide you through that consultation and give you proper advice to get you where you want to go. And when doing so, we're going to make sure that we show you and tell you how we're going to use the best negotiation tactics to make sure that we're getting you the home you deserve for the best price possible. And all that to say that we want your home to be a great long-term investment. We want to make sure that you're happy with the home, that you got a great price on the home, and most importantly, we don't want you to feel like you missed out on any other home. We want to make sure that you don't have that fear that maybe you should have kept looking. We want to make sure that the house that you buy, the house that you live in, is going to become your home. And ultimately, the guiding concept in our consultations with clients is that we just want to find what moves you. And it really is personal to just you, and that's our goal. And one of my best resources to make sure that you're finding the right home for you is a direct connection with the local MLS, where I can tie you in with our platform to make sure that you can see those properties, not miss out on a thing, and to easily show us which properties you're finding most appealing to you. It really is a great product and a great service that we offer to our clients, and it's one of the very best tools for finding a home here in Utah. And so if you're looking to make a move, if you're looking to buy or sell real estate in the state of Utah, my team and I would love to be your real estate resource of choice. You can find our contact information in the description below, or you can book a video call with us in the link in the pinned comment on this and every video. And if you want to learn more about life in Utah, check out this playlist next. And until next time, thanks.